Welcome to Nothing Final. Do you have a pet? I do. I got one for a variety of reasons. Mainly the companionship bit. As a young boy, I was fascinated by the idea of the boy and his dog. Think with me, right? A beast that you raise from infancy to become your silent companion, protector, a mirror in many ways. This animal was going to defy all understanding that we have of animals, and maybe even truly understand you. One day, it may even learn to speak. You won't tell anyone that I was having these delusions. I trust you. You're a good friend. You might think that this is a little boy fantasy, but I carried this fantasy well into adulthood in some way. It was always there, somewhere in the back of my mind. I got her when she was a puppy, just a few weeks old. I remember it being this large act of defiance. I was finally getting what I was promised as a child. This time, I said, I'm going to own up to my responsibility of it. My hair was long, and it continued to grow during that time. The first few weeks, all I did was take care of that puppy, waking up every few hours to make sure she peed and pooped, figuring out what to feed her, who got to meet her. I stopped shaving my facial hair too. My not so handsome neck beard kept growing to the point where it actually stopped itching, but it looked dreadful. 6 months in, it had paid off. My dog was independent, socialized, and it had gone out to pee on its own. Large achievement, mind you, for somebody that's never raised a dog before. To see it happen in front of you, you almost never believe it. Around that time, I had my first heartbreak, and I was at an all-time low. My first major heartbreak, not to discount from all the other heartbreaks, but this was a big one. The phone stopped ringing, my leads on a job were non-existent, and everything was down. I remember that day pretty vividly. The door to my room was open, and I had no choice but to let out the most guttural cry I could muster. There was nothing left. There was no one left. I was no one, and I was alone. To my surprise, my dog walked into the room. I could see her between my locks of unkempt hair, and I thought, at least I have you. I signaled to her to come closer to me, to get onto the bed. I wanted a comfort that only a dog can offer the boy. Tuffy took one look at me and walked out. In the midst of the worst cry of my life up to that point, I busted my hip laughing. I wasn't even happy, though. It was weird. Even she wanted nothing to do with me. What do I do now? What do I do now when even my dog wanted nothing to do with me? I always hated going to the barber. Internalized issues led me to believe that no one with my hair texture could be treated well in a world where beauty standard had been straight hair for the last 100 years. That was not the real reason, although I had entertained it as the only reason for a long time. The fact of the matter was simple. I was over. Whatever I was up to that point was now finished. The credits rolled, for better or worse, and the screen was black. The movie was over. But the lights did not come on. The seats of the theater around me fell away one by one, and it was void. A black void, and only that. My hair covered my eyes from the void. My hair showed others the void as well. My hair became somewhat of a statement. Look at what I'm going through, or don't. I don't care. In one of the many times my dog walked out of the room, I decided to follow her, one of those times. She had repeated that behavior of leaving me in misery. I found it funny at first, and then really frustrating. Really frustrating. One day, I had had enough. Enough of what I was going through. Enough of what I felt like. Enough of life And I sure as fuck had enough of this bullshit ass dog that I raised yet refused to comfort me during my weakest moments. When I found her, she was resting next to the door. She saw me, got up, wagged her tail, and looked at me. She was waiting for me to play. I got it at that moment. It hit me. But the lesson didn't stick until I thought about this instance while I was writing. In the most profound stroke of philosophy, my doc taught me that sulking was something I needed to do alone. And once I was through with it, the world outside waited for me. The world hadn't moved on. It just went for a stroll. I would still have to pay a price to catch up, but the price wasn't me. My dog showed me that I had a choice. I could let the void consume me, or clutch it all into an armful, as much as I can bear, hold it close to my chest, and walk onwards. Move. The cloud was not meant to give way for the sun. I could just take the cloud with me. I could take the cloud to work. I could take the cloud out for drinks. I could take it out on a walk with my dog. I can take this same cloud out with my family. I could even take my cloud to every subsequent connection I will go on to make. It was meant to stay. I took the cloud with me to get a haircut. The hair had moved on from being a fashion statement and was now just officially annoying. It took one fuck-ass haircut after the next until one barber figured me out. And now I see him every 5 weeks. Or, maybe the dog just wanted to play. Thanks for listening. If this left you with a question, write to me. If it makes you remember someone, go for a walk toward that memory and then write to me. Thanks for listening.